Welcome to a webinar about understanding BC's Personal Information Protection Act, or PIPA for short. If you're a physician or MOA working in a private practice, this webinar is for you. Identifying the purpose is the first step in determining if you need the information or not. For every piece of personal information you collect, ask yourself, why do you need it? How will you use it? And to whom will you disclose it? Are these things obvious? Would a patient or employee automatically know why you're asking for it? In some cases, you may need to explain, and the best time to do that is before or at the time you collect it. Do you need to document your explanation in the patient or employee record, in your policies and procedures? Going through this process will help you identify the information you don't need, and you can stop collecting it. Before privacy legislation existed, this was very often the case. I recall when social insurance numbers were used by insurers as ID numbers for their customers. That's no longer the case because they can only be used for income tax-related purposes. There were lots of other cases when a SIN could be very handy ID to use for another purpose. Need to know always trumps nice to know. Where do you start? Make an inventory of all personal information you collect from both patients and employees. Even if it's obvious, document why it's collected. Examples include identification and contact, how a person is informed about why it's collected, the purpose, how it will be used, for example, patient care or payroll administration and tax reporting, to whom it will be disclosed, like others in the circle of care or regulatory bodies like CRA, and the notification process if you want to use the information for another purpose. Be sure to train employees to use the information only for authorized purposes based on express or implied consent, or as authorized by PIPA. A few examples from Section 15 of PIPA include when it's clearly in the interests of the patient and consent cannot be obtained in a timely way, during an emergency response where someone's life, health, or security is threatened, or as required by law. Personal information would never be collected just for the sake of collecting it, and it would never be collected for the purpose of humiliating someone. Links to these resources are in a PDF document on the Webinars page of the Privacy Toolkit. College Standards and Guidelines, Doctors of BC Privacy Toolkit and Webinar Notes, and Privacy Commissioner Guides, Tips, and Resources. Let us know if you have any questions about complying with PIPA.